Hey guys, welcome to a rather messy smooth workshop. Yeah, my bench with all the crap lying about. Currently got my soldering bolt heating up, which is down here. This is a nice wee thing, a wee brass. I might link it actually. You can get them from Amazon. A wee tip cleaner. Much better than the sponge because it does the cool your tip down and you can just clean your tip up. I've also got a wee gadget down here that I'll show you in a minute. Actually, I'll just, give me a second, I will just adjust my camera angle. Okay, right, so I have a little, what they call a transistor tester. Last time I went, in my last video, I went in a lot of detail about, now feel free to screenshot this. It's a little, tells you what the colours are on the resistors, but there's quite a lot of resistors in this. And I've pre-bent quite a few with this little bending tool. Again, I'll link that. You can get that on Amazon as well. Can't guarantee it'll be pink. Now, I made a little error in the last video. There are three, now let me just get this right, because I'm still learning this, BC547 transistors, which are NPN, or positively switched, and one BC, let me just see what that one is, 5, hold on, old man eyes, 567, which is a PNP, which means it's negatively switched. Okay. All the rest of the information was correct. So we're going to scroll onto the bench. And warning, this video will be about an hour long. Now, if you don't want to watch it all, that's perfectly fine. That's what the fast forward button's for. The aim of this video is one, to show people what's in the kit. Two, to show my friends that are not used to soldering how to solder components into a circuit board. And three, to show what it gives at the end of it. So I appreciate for people who are used to electronics that this might not be of interest, but I love these little kits, and I'm doing a wee mini disco thing in scale. All will become apparent when I start. I'll probably put a video up at some point trying to explain what I'm trying to do with the mini disco thing. But at the moment, I'm doing this, and the next video will probably involve a voice changer thing. Ooh. But it's all stuff related to mini discos. So, give me a second, I'll reposition the camera, my soldering bolt's heated up, and we'll get on to soldering components on the board. Hey guys, welcome back to part 2, where we actually assemble the board. Now, I have actually worked through all the resistor colours, and put all of them, bar one, into the board. Now, normally these yellow, what we call carbon film resistors, are quite easy to read the colour codes of. These ones aren't, especially yellow. So if you're in a situation like that, I've got one resistor to put in. Now, looking at this, oops, it's supposed to be yellow, purple, orange. That isn't what that looks like to me. Yellow, purple, orange. It looks like white, brown and red. So they can be hard to distinguish. You can check them with a multimeter to make sure, or you can use a little tool which I will review later, to stick your resistor or whatever in and press the start button, and it will tell you. So I want this to be around about 47 kilo ohms. So we're 47.88, near enough. Okay. So you can either use a tool like this or a multimeter, or try and read the colour bands, which I find quite difficult. Imagine if you're colourblind. I then put it onto my lead forming tool, which is, this board's good because it's set up for 1/4 watt resistors, which these are. So I have populated the rest of the resistors to save boring you going through all the colour codes. So I've got one more to put in, which is R14, which is this one, and R14 is yellow, purple and orange 47K. Yeah, the colours still don't quite show up as well as I thought. So that's all the resistors in. Now, what I'm questioning is, should I flip these all over and show you me soldering the whole lot? Or shall I do one and then come back when I've got them done? Well, bearing in mind that my channel's aimed at newbies, what I shall do is I will get the camera in a position where I'm scrolled in. My bolt has been sitting heating up for a wee while now. Let's just get my, well, everything's fallen over, so I'll get my solder, my lead tin, 60-40 lead tin mix. I shall tin my bolt. I shall put on the fan to withdraw my fumes, so apologies for the noise. I shall zoom you in to let you see what I'm up to. Is that better? I think it is. It's not bad. There we go. Now, I'm using a slightly different tip from what I normally use. I normally use a chisel tip, but today I'm using a pointy tip. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to tack, holding it against the pad and the lead. I'm going to try and do one on each, but there's so many. So I might get it a little bit wrong, but this is normal for a smooth. So if you've watched any of my earlier videos, oh, this is the worst part, things are moving about here. Will this go in? Yep, things are moving about. If you've watched any of my earlier videos, you'll see that I kind of tack one leg first. And then I start checking to see if things are level and stuff like that. So rather than bore you with my normal soldering everything video, pretty sure you can see how I did that. I put the soldering bolt on the leg. Okay. Wait for them both to heat up and then applied the solder like so, and then take it away. Right, so I'm going to go off camera now and I'm going to solder all these resistors and then I'll be back. See you in a bit. Apologies for the fan noise, I'm still soldering. So we have all the resistors soldered into the board. They're all nice. Actually, that one's a little bit how you doing. If you get one that's a bit how you doing, just heat it up and press it back in. Right, so they're all kind of nice and level and flush on the board. Lovely. So step 2, it tells you to add the LEDs, but they're not the next highest component on the board. The next highest component on the board, I think, is the pop. I might be wrong. So RV1, which is actually their step 6, they call it a trimmer or a variable pop, goes in here like so. So I think that's the next highest part on the board before the LEDs, so I'm going to do that next, and we'll just solder that into place. Let's just adjust the camera angle and zoom you in a little bit so you can see what I'm up to. Right, and I can't even see what I'm up to. What am I looking at? Oh, it's up here. Yeah, taxi for an umpty. Right, so we're going to tin the bolt like here, and then we're going to go in and we're going to pin one leg of the pot like so. Flip it over, check its level. Doesn't seem too bad actually. Yep, that's fine. So I've got another 2 legs to do. It's really quite quick actually. I just thought the resistors would be a little bit boring for you, so I didn't film all of the resistors. I will do a soldering tutorial for those that are interested. Please comment in the section down below if you would like to see something like that. So there's a little, let's scroll back out, that's what they call a trimmer or potentiometer or variable resistor, whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. I'll just take the knob off of that one. Right, okay. So that's that on. Then I think the LEDs would be the next one. So again, some companies, the longest leg of the LED is the positive or the anode, and the shortest leg is the negative. Now, some LEDs like this one do actually have a little chamfer. That's always on the negative side or the cathode side, and that's what they're depicting. The chamfer is the cathode side or the negative side. Okay, sometimes you'll get a shaded part on the negative side or a plus or a minus, but basically on this one, you might make it out the chamfer is towards the right, so all of the negatives are towards the right. So there's LED number 2. Now obviously this circuit's very hackable, which is why I got it, but I just wanted to see how they did theirs, and there's quite a bit to it by the looks of it with all the transistors, because I'd like to be able to, obviously there's a microphone, then it gets amplified through transistors and a capacitor and stuff like that, and that the whatever sound comes in will pulse the lights. I want to be able to have this triggering like a decade chip, so that every time the beat pulses it flicks on a different series of lights. That's my aim, but I will study this circuit. So I have 4 LEDs, and I'm just going to do 1 leg on each. So let's get this where you can see it. So just clean my bolt, give it a wee tin. So let's get, and I'm not going to hold the heat on these for too long, because LEDs don't like the heat on them for too long, or it blows the little gold bond wire that's on it. So if you haven't got it soldered in a few seconds, take the heat off and go back in. I think I explained that in the other video. So I'm going to do the 4 legs like so, and then I'm going to check and see if they're flush to the board. So let's come back out. Oh, what have I done? I've actually just soldered 2 LEDs. Terry, you are a total numpty. Yeah, I'm not a professional. Yeah, right, okay. Alright, let's give this another go. I might as well do the other 4. I didn't realise they were set up like that. Easy mistake to make, but we shall correct them if they're not flush. So on with this one. Solder. On with this one. Come on, solder. On with this one. And obviously what you want to check is between the two legs that you don't have a solder bridge. A solder bridge is where the solder accidentally bridges between two places. So I'm just going to see if these are all flush on the board. This one's a bit squonky. You can maybe see them. So this is why I normally just do one, because it's a lot easier to push it into the board when you have a little bit of squonk on it. Squonk is obviously a technical term. But me being an idiot, I just battered in with them all. So I'm just straightening these babies out so that all the LEDs are square with the board. Or trying to anyway. Maybe the leads are a bit bent on this one. What one am I wanting? This one, yeah. Ah, there you go. You will conform. So it's just, those two are level. Oh, sorry if I'm off camera. This one's almost level. I'm just touching up the solder on a joint or two here. And this one. Right. So, that's the LEDs done. Oh, again, these are pinging off good style. LEDs always ping off because it's a steel and chrome plated. Oh, I can hear them pinging off the lights and everything. Because they're steel with a little chrome plating on. So that's kind of the four LEDs. Are not quite 100%. I don't like this one. Let's see if I can straighten this one up a bit. So that's this one here. There we go. That's looking not bad. And what's wrong with this one? They're near as, damn it. Hold on, this one's a bit squonky, isn't it? So you can play about with these to your heart's content. Squaring them up on the board and everything. I'm just a bit OCD, which is why I'm fiddling about. Right, this one needs to go down a bit on this side. Right, that's about as close as I'm going to get it. So we've got the four LEDs in the board. Right, that's actually step 2. So step 3, they're talking about transistors. Okay, right, so there are 3 the same. There are 3 BC547s, so let's just check what we've got there. There's a 567, so that's PNP. And then there's 3 547s NPN, so that's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm just looking for my tweezers that I usually use for bending these. There we go. Now the ones that they've supplied, we're going for T1 transistor 1, so that's T1. You'll notice that unlike the other one, the legs are nowhere near the size. Also shows you the flat side of it, of the transistor, and there's a flat like so. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to I'll just show you one of these and I'll go off and solder them. I'm going to bend the leg out slightly, like that. And I'm going to go up to this leg and bend it out slightly, like that. This one I'm going to bend backwards slightly, like that. Okay, so I've done that. And then the next stage is just a little bit down. I'll do a wee tweak like that. Tweak like that. And a little, hopefully this is on camera, a little tweak like that. So hopefully, although not perfect, this should fit into the T1 position. Now, when you're soldering transistors, guys, don't hold the heat on them for too long. Although they have a good temperature rating, you can quite easily damage them. So there we go. I've bent those legs like that. Okay. So now I can wiggle that down into the board and it will sit about the same height as the LEDs. Okay, so I've got another two of these, the 547s to do, and I have one 557 now. Don't get the 557 mixed up. The 547s are positively triggered and the 557 is negatively triggered. If you mix it up, the circuit won't work. So I'm going to go off and bend all the leads on my transistors, solder them on, and I'll be back in a second. See you in a bit. Right, nearly there. So that's all the transistors soldered in. So these three are NPNs, and that one's a PNP one. Okay, so they're all in. So it asks you next to put the three capacitors in. Now these are disc capacitors. No idea why they've got them on an audio circuit, but I suppose it's not actually relaying audio, it's just flicking lights on and off. Because as I say, these are microphonic. If you tap them, it interferes with audio, so they're not advised in audio circuits, but it is what it is. So there are three. Doesn't matter about the polarity on these. These are ceramic disc capacitors. This one's electrolytic. That's the only one you have to worry about. So we have three of them, which quite simply go in. Is that C1? You're looking for a little symbol for a capacitor. No bending required with these, apart from I will bend the leads underneath so that they don't fall out. There's C3 in there. And I'll bend the legs on that one as well. And there should be another one, C2, I guess. Oh, that's kind of a bit tight with the variable, but there we go. So I'll bend that one and bend that one. Let's just get these soldered in. So yeah, ceramic type capacitors are not polarity dependent, so they can go in any way around. No need to worry about that. It's just the electrolytics, the ones that look like little tubes, that you have to worry about the polarity on. The ceramic ones, because sound waves are AC, the ceramic ones pass AC, but they block DC. Something I might need to explain when I get onto capacitors. But as I say, all you need to know is it doesn't matter what way around these babies go. So I am just checking that they're all, this one's sitting a little bit high, so I shall sort that out. Still a bit high. There we go, that's that in there, a bit more on that side. That one's okay, so is that one. So that's all the caps in, or all the ceramic ones in. We have only one electrolytic. Now this one you do have to pay attention to the polarity on. It goes in, now where is it? C4. Now it tells you on the diagram that you've got to bend the legs because they want this one to lie flat. So again, positive is the longest one, negative is the shortest one, also denoted by the negative line, and they have a plus and a minus. So what I'm just going to do is, because they want it to go at right angles, I'm just going to hold on to there and bend these legs down like so, and stick that through the board. So that should sit like so. I'm just going to tack that on. So we're almost there for the flashy lights thing. Let's just see how that's looking. Is that sitting nice and flush? Could do a wee bit of pushing. And we'll just solder the other leg. So I like these little kits. I've had one kit that I couldn't get working. It was a dear one as well. It was about 12 quid. It was a Christmas sort of Santa type one. But the problem there was mostly down to instructions. So we have all the capacitors in, including the electrolytic. So next thing's a microphone. Now remember I said earlier that a lot of these microphones, the outer shell kind of shields the microphone. It's actually got a little earth tang. So it can only go in one way, minus to the outside. So we shall solder that in. So I'm going to do the biggest tang first, which is the earth one, or the outer shell. As I say, normally on these microphones, the outside of it is kind of like shielded. Needed a little bit of heat because there's a lot of metal content there, and then the little positive pin. Is on, and that's sitting slightly off, so let's just sort that out. There we go. So that's that on. That's all the solder, nearly all the soldering done, because we've got a plus and a minus from the battery pack here. So I'm just going to tin this with some nice fresh tin lead solder, just in case it's that horrible lead free stuff, like so. Now we have to get the wires the right way round. So there's a plus here on the right of the mic. Oh, I've got hiccups. So I'm going to do that one first. So that's that one, and then I'll get the minus in, which is the other side of the microphone. Like so. How are they looking? They're looking okay. Let's just snip them off. Then it wants you to screw that on the back as they usually do. So yeah, 1, 2, 3 like that. So that's all my soldering done. So soldering bolt off, screwdriver out. Here's all the screws. There's the 3 screws. Oh, can't remember if this is magnetic at all, but here we go. There's it. That one kind of started. And there's another one there. Oh, yeah, it's not quite magnetic enough. It will comply though. And then there's another one just up there. So do we think this will work, guys? Right, I better turn my fan off because I'm not soldering now. So let's screw this one up. Screw this one up, that sounds bad. Let's muck it up. No, let's tighten the screws. Okay, all screws tightened, all parts in place. Let's put the little adjuster in the pot for sensitivity. Let's get my 9-volt battery and plug it in, and just for laughs, see what happens. Okay. Nothing. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Halfway down. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Meryl Mickey. Hello. This is the sound of the Mr. Ron. So it's quite cool there how it kind of brightens up, and if you talk really quietly it goes down a bit, and then if you talk loudly again it goes up again. So yeah, it worked. Nice little kit. The idea behind this one for me is that if that's listening to music, like, and it hears a beat like that, then instead of this going to LEDs, I'll have it triggering a chip, which will sequence lights. But yeah. Hello. Exterminate. Exterminate. Yeah, quite like that. Lovely wee thing. Yeah, there's no on-off switch or anything, but it's a bit of fun. So hope you enjoyed this. Usual long-winded video for me. Nice wee kit. It's only just over £6. So I'll link that if you go in the show more tab below. I'll give you a link to Amazon where you can get this. I'll also give you a link to this thing and a link to my lead bending tool. I like how this lights up. It's quite cool. Anything else that I need to put on? I don't think so. So yeah, I'm just I'm quite a distance away. I'm quite pleased how sensitive it is actually. So yeah, my little sound to light thing works better than I thought, and I quite like it. It's quite good because if you talk really quietly, it just comes on a wee bit, and if you talk a bit louder, it comes on big. I like that. So guys, right, probably about an hour's video in various sections. As always, if you like what I'm putting up on the channel, subscribe, click the little bell icon to the right if you want to see new videos coming up. And as always, feel free to support me on Patreon. I'll put a wee link up here. Tiers start for $1 a month. It just helps me buy a little kits like this and modelling stuff and that. You don't have to, but it all helps support the channel. So until the next video, which will most probably be, I'm quite interested in this because this mic thing's working quite well. It's this voice changer thing. That'll be fun. Similar kind of kit as this. It'll probably be a similar length of video. So until the next time, look after yourself, guys. Enjoy what you're doing, and see you later. Yeah. Boom, boom.